Hello, good day everyone. Sir Kevin here again and welcome to another session for good governance and social responsibility. And this session will be heading for the last part of our uh, course in good governance and social responsibility, and we'll be dealing with the corporate governance. But before that, let's just take a rundown of what we've discussed in this subject. So we've done with the ethics and ethical decision making, and then the frameworks of good governance, no? And then we've been through with the leadership, no? Corporate leadership, no? The qualities of a good leader, as well as corporate social responsibility, the laws and the principles guiding it. And also we've done with the societal impacts that's composed of the workplace, the marketplace, the community, and the environment. So, to sum it up, the corporate governance calls the shot, no? Calls the final shot, no? Kasi sila yung nasa top, no? Sila yung nasa top ng decision making, no? The top management. Okay, so uh, corporate governance refers to the formal systems of accountability, oversight, and control, no? So sila ang nagbibigay ng formal system of accountability, oversight, and control. So ano pa ba yung mga kailangan nilang gawin, no? So corporate governance needs accountability as part of the good governance frameworks of good governance. You really need accountability. So it refers to how closely workplace decisions are aligned with the firm's stated strategic direction. So if you remember in the past sessions, no, I've made mention always of the core values and the vision, no, objectives of the company, no. So accountability, also your decisions, no, might should be aligned with what you ought to do. So I repeat that, no. So what you ought to do, no? Hindi lang kung anong gusto mong gawin, kundi ano yung mga nasa strategic fit or strategic direction. Now, where would the company should be heading? Okay? And then we have the oversight, no? Oversight provides a system of checks and balances that limits employees and minimizes opportunities for misconduct. So the oversight means the evaluation, the monitoring, no, the supervision of people, and also the policies para maiwasan yung pagkakamali. So again, you have that accountability and the oversight. Of course, during your oversight, no? Meron bang nangyaring masama? Meron ba nangyaring hindi maganda, no? So that is one thing that the corporate governance should be doing, no? And then we have what we call control. It's the process of auditing and improving organizational decisions and actions. That's why many of our assessments, if you remember, are reviewing policies, reviewing procedures, no? To the achievement, no? To the achievement of those strategic decision and strategic direction that I mentioned earlier, no? Okay, so uh, building relationship is one of the most important areas in business today. So it can be associated with organizational success. So as I've stressed out in the past with you, no, it's really important that you build relationships. Why? A business is dependent to anyone outside of it, even internal. No, we are dependent with people around us. So the employees, the investors, the government, the public, no? So we have their interest, and we they have our interest as well, no? So we are interdependent to one another. So a successful organization knows how to build relationship, no? Again, a success of an organization is not dependent to itself. but it depends on its environment. Okay, so that's why you need to build relationship. Okay, so how to do that? So of course you need what we call a stakeholder framework. So it helps identify internal and external stakeholders. So by the way, alam nyo na yan. So we have different facets that we need to consider. No? Helps monitor and respond to needs, values, and expectation of stakeholder groups. So you are building a framework. So what to do and who do you need to consider whenever you are making decision. That's what we call a stakeholder framework. So if as you observe, no, it's a combination of the elements of good governance, the corporate social responsibility, and some other lessons. No, so you are at the top management. You are setting up a decision. So who are those primary and secondary stakeholders? So take a look at this. So primary stakeholders are those whose continued association is necessary for a firm's survival. No, it's for the firm's survival. So the employees, the customers, the investors, the government, and communities, anyone that is affecting the organization is part of your primary stakeholder. And who are your secondary stakeholders? No, so are not essential to the company survival, but are also related, no, or relevant to the company. So it's the media, the trade association, and then the special interest groups are part of your secondary stakeholders. So the difference is the employees, customer, investor, government, and the communities. No, again, they have that interest and they affect uh, the they relevantly affect or significantly affect the decisions in an organization. But the secondary stakeholders are uh, yes, they are still affected, but hindi naman sila about sa company survival. So that's the keyword there, no? So social responsibility can be viewed as a contract with the society, as stipulated with our past lessons. No, it's the contract with the society wherein you get to consider those who will be impacted with your decision. No, so it's an organization's obligation to maximize its positive impact on stakeholders and minimize its negative impact. That's one thing about social responsibility. You're contracted with the society, and at the very least, the objective is to maximize its positive impact as well as you minimize its your decision's negative impact to the society. And dito papasok yung business ethics. It involves careful thought out rules of conduct that guide decision making. In ethics, you got to know what is wrong and what is right, no, and what to do in the on the on your stakeholders, no. So that's business ethics, no. The corporate citizenship is the extent to which businesses strategically meet their economic, legal, ethic, and philanthropic responsibility. No? It is mentioned in the corporate social responsibility. No? uh, Hindi lang dahil it's about business. That's the economic side of being a business. You are selling, you're providing the need of people, and in return they are paying you, no, fees, no, or kung magkano yung inoffer mo, no, yung binili nila. So that's the economic landscape. But a corporation and a company has that legal, ethical, and philanthropic responsibility. So legal is because it's mandated by law, no. If you remember the law about the voluntarism law, that the private sector are encouraged to do voluntary works. No? Aside from it's legal, it's ethical. That's the moral thing to do because you have the resources and you can do things, no? You can do things na pwedeng hindi ka na maapektuhan, no? Kasi meron kang kagamitan na pwedeng makatulong sa kanila. And also, it's an ethical thing because uh, you're doing the right things. No? So you're probably preventing harm. And the philanthropic responsibility is extending what you can do for the communities. No? So hindi lang kung ano yung nasa negosyo mo, kundi you are helping others because it's a philosophy. No? It's part of the good karma. And then, we have what we call reputation. This is one of the most important thing about the corporate social responsibility and the business ethics. It's strengthening the reputation of one organization. Reputation is one of an organization's greatest intangible asset with tangible value. So it's difficult to quantify, but it's very important because if people trust an organization that they are doing good, they are doing well, no, uh, there's a significant amount of trust that they put on the company and also on the product itself, no, yung mga binebenta niya. So kapag nagtitiwala sila sa iyo, nagtitiwala din sila sa klase ng negosyong meron ka. So that's what we call reputation. So, who calls the shot? They are there, the board of directors. No? So, they hold final responsibility for the firm's success, failure, and ethicality of actions. Increased demands for accountability and transparency. No? So, sila ang nagko-call niyan. So, ipapasok dito yung elements of good governance as well as the qualities of a good leader and also the effects in the society. So, please remember those. No? So, they have legal duties as board members. So, the duty of care, no, na walang masasaktan, walang madedehado. The duty of good faith, that they are doing good, and the duty of loyalty for the company, no. Okay, so the duty of care involves the exercise of reasonable care by a board member in order to ensure that the company executives with whom she or he works carry out the management responsibility, no, and comply with the law in the best interest of the corporation. So, the duty is pangalagaan yung kumpanya as well as its reputation. No? So, it's the duty of care. No? Walang magiging mangyaring masama o mapapahamak. So, what's the duty of good faith naman? That the duty of good faith is one of obedience which requires board members to be faithful to the organization's missions. No? So, may mapaganda, masaayos. No? That's the good faith. Their decisions must always be in line with the organizational purposes and direction, striving towards corporate objectives and not acting in a way that would take organization away from that direction. That's the duty of good faith. And the duty of loyalty, that the duty of loyalty requires faithfulness. This means that the conflicts of interest are always to be resolved in favor of the corporation. Now, a board member may never use information obtained through or her or his position as a board member for personal gain or even for the gain of other companies, but instead must act in best interest of the organization. So, that's the duty of loyalty. Hindi mo ipapahamak, hindi mo ipagkakalulo yung corporation or company. So, that's in response with the ISO 26,000. It is a corporate social responsibility regulation to promote or provide common understanding about social responsibility. If you remember our discussion way back in the CSR topic, no? Sabi niya, they have CSR is complex and has different issues. So the ISO 26,000, no, the CSR regulation is to provide understanding and a common understanding about social responsibility. That yun nga, it deals with economic, ethical, um, lawful, and the philanthropic roles of the CSR, no. Hindi lang yung pagtulong sa iba, but it's a total societal impact ang tina-target niya. Okay, so that's the end of it, and thank you very much for being for being with us in these sessions. No? I hope that you've enjoyed this semester about corporate social responsibility, good governance and corporate social responsibility. I hope that you've learned and may apply this in the future. I wish you all luck and God bless. Always be safe and see you on to the next one.